G'day guys, Scott from FB Trader here, just bringing you a quick video update on the trade we just placed on Profitly. Now what I want to show you about this trade specifically is the price action. So the reason we've actually entered this is because it's broken above its prior high and there's some really interesting price action happening, and I want to just zoom in so you can see what's actually going on. So you can see this is where the prior high basically lined up with. Now price has been fighting up and around this zone for about the last say 20 minutes, and you can see the blues basically the bulls or the buyers, the reds basically the sellers. Now there's a lot of people trying to sell it at this level, and we've basically got a few buyers at this level but a hell of a lot of volume. So something is going to happen at this level. What I actually anticipate will happen is the price will end up punching through, and all these sellers who have piled into the market here and who have got their stops back at this prior high, let's go to the 1 hour chart so you can actually see it. So back at this prior high here are going to get squeezed and the market is going to shoot up very quickly. That's what I anticipate is going to happen. I have been wrong before, obviously. It's not like you can actually sort of see what happens in the future, but that's what I anticipate will happen based on where price is at the moment, and particularly how price has been behaving in the last sort of 20 to 30 minutes. We did see a nice little run up, which may have been, if you have a look at that there, that's 109. It did get about 7-8 points above it. That's not a real stop loss run. A stop loss run is typically where you see it really sort of shoot through. Actually, this would be a good example here. So you've got a good level of support and resistance here. This is the stop run as it pushes down and then obviously rebounds in the original direction, taking all of those people out of the trade and providing liquidity for the other side of the trade. So let's just have a look at this trade play out, and I will come back in a few minutes and we'll have a bit of a look and see how this is actually worked out. If it's done what I think it's going to do, or if it's just basically gone against me and I've had to close it out. Righto, we'll come back in a moment. Okay, so I'm just coming back. It looks like we're starting to see the beginning of it, and prices are pushing up. It's hitting 1.09, and I can see that there's not a lot of sellers actually releasing at that level. So I imagine we're going to see a pretty decent run towards that 109.25 level. We may even actually see it run much further than that, but for me that's the point I actually want to get out and just cut it and be done with it. And you can see why if you have a look at the 1 hour chart. There is actually greater resistance up at this level here, and there's a fairly I would say there's going to be some fairly stale people at this level, and it's going to be people's sort of last line of defense if they're shorting. So hopefully we're going to see some push-up action. It's sort of taking its time there at the moment and hasn't really moved past that prior candle, so we'll come back in a few minutes and see if we actually get any action. Right, so we're coming back to this trade, and you can see we're just going into the overlap between London and New York, and nothing is really happening. It's basically just sort of petered out. So I'm looking for it to make its run in the next sort of 20 minutes or so, and then I'm probably just going to cut the trade and move on. It's not, it hasn't sort of done the run that I expected in the time frame that I expected. So like I said, we're going to be moving on, but I will come back and we'll give it about 20 more minutes to do its thing. Otherwise, like I said, we'll close it out. Back in a few minutes. Okay, so we're actually seeing this stop run exit now, or this run into the stop zone. I think I'm actually going to close it out at this level here. Yep. So that's it, guys. That's pretty much all I was looking to do. I was actually hoping it would go a little bit higher, and it may, but honestly, it's like 2 a.m. in the morning here, and I'm getting ready for bed. So that's my night done. I hope that all makes sense to you. I hope you really kind of get an understanding of what I'm trying to do here when I'm looking for these entries, and why I'm looking for this particular type of entry, because I think it's fairly low risk. It's a fairly low risk kind of good trade. It's generally opposite of what everyone else is doing, or the punters anyway. And it just presents a great opportunity to make a few pips. Nothing major. You're not going to make 200 points on something like this unless there's a major catastrophic event, but it's an opportunity to make some money consistently and with a minimal amount of risk. Alright guys, hope that all makes sense. Till next time, trade well.